astonishing ending. And Billy McNeil is being smothered by the bench. Not only winning, but in the most dramatic fashion. A delighted Billy McNeil. And there is Billy McNeil. Roy Aitken, to the great delight of not only himself but the supporters. And as that goes on, United players now, the winning goal again. Through it went, all the legs, breaking down to the unmarked McAvenny, rattling it in, the winner for Celtic, clinching the double.
Billy, congratulations, you left it a wee bit late.
We left it a bit late, that's right. We've done this a few times this season, but this team's been magnificent because they never give up. We knew beforehand the game was about 13 players, and it took the 13 players to give us the result today. Absolutely brilliant.
Did you ever have any doubts when Dundee United were playing so well and the goal ahead?
Yes, well, obviously you've got to have doubts. Hence the reason we changed the system and changed some players, and all of a sudden it came right for us. I'm absolutely delighted. Those boys have worked so hard this season, and that finishes it off magnificently.
And centenary year, the double, and your first season back.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'll be here in another 100 years' time, but I think that these lads will be remembered. I'm delighted for them.
I think the fans wouldn't mind if you were here in 100 years' time. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Frank McAvenny, unbelievable scenes at Hampden. I think you're responsible for them.
Oh, what can I say, Jack? It's been absolutely brilliant, but...
Tell me about that first goal, Frank.
No, what I just remember Mark going for that, and the ball came to me, and it just guided it towards goal, that was all.
The heads were rather down by that time, weren't they?
No, they weren't really. We knew we could come back, and we were hoping for an equaliser, and we got it. And once you get an equaliser, this team doesn't know how to lose or draw.
How did you see the second goal then?
I thought the ball would start coming in, and I knew he was going to put it in for goal. And I was hoping that someone would deflect it off the line, that was the best I'd get. But it felt lovely for me, and I just put it in.
And there are the dejected Dundee United players who fought so hard, with the Prime Minister, Mrs Thatcher, handing out the runners-up medal. Behind her, the Secretary of State for Scotland, Malcolm Rifkin, and the President of the SFA, David Will. And we now await Celtic coming up for the Cup.
The cup, what's it feel like?
Great feeling, it's a centenary year, double celebration, we're delighted.
Did you ever have any doubts?
Here we go, watch that.
Well, I think they're finding it very difficult to extricate the Celtic players to come up for the presentation. There's a very patient-looking Prime Minister, ably assisted by Ernie Walker. And the Celtic players now coming up. And here comes the Celtic captain, very gallantly wiping his hands free of sweat, and receives a cup from the Prime Minister. Billy McNeil watching a scene of which he is extremely familiar. Down come the Celtic players, deservedly getting their individual cheer. Mick McCarthy. And the Celtic team coming up almost in dribs and drabs are being kept back, celebrating. Tommy Burns. And not to forget the referee, George Smith from Edinburgh. Well, what else do you expect him to do at a time like this? And in the background, the Prime Minister and Mr. Thatcher making their way out of the royal box. I am sure she has enjoyed herself enormously this afternoon. And so in particular have these Celtic supporters just in front of us. There have been many dramatic victories this season by Celtic in the last 15 minutes or so. But surely this takes a biscuit. Ali, they won it very deservedly for the fight back.
Yes, I would think over the whole game they edged out Dundee United. But you always feel for the underdogs. And I think before the game everyone hoped that Dundee United would give it their best. It wasn't a classic, but Celtic's power in the end, particularly coming from both wings, deservedly won them it.
I just get the impression that Dundee United may not have been totally at their best, but nevertheless they gave a lot to this game, there's no question about that.
Yes, I don't think they were outclassed in any means. I think the two substitutions went against them. Sometimes they go for you, but today I felt the substitutions went against the United.
And all Celtic go on their triumphal tour of Hampden Park. That massive support in the background. I think they're going to take some while before they get out of Hampden Park tonight. That's a cup. Looks a little bit fragile, almost lost in that crowd there, but there's a firm hand on it. The man who won the cup with his double, the double-double you might call it. I bet you he feels like keeping it. Well, Tommy's not a young thing, he needs a seat every now and again. He's been doing a little bit of weightlifting.
Roy, a phenomenal support behind you. You must be immensely proud to do the double in the centenary year.
I thought I'd seen a marvellous sight 3 years ago, but beating Dundee United the same way. But look at this here today again, it's fantastic. It's as much their trophies as ours.
Almost a replica of that match, wasn't it?
Exactly, well, we came back from the dead again. We've done it so many times this season. It speaks volumes for the character of the club and the players.
And Frank McAvenny never seemed to give up, did he?
Frank McAvenny's had a tremendous season. He seems to have brought himself alive again coming back to Scotland. He's a great player.
And a tremendous sport once again to see you, Roy.
We're delighted for them. It's a great day.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Tommy Burns, a pretty good feeling, I would imagine.
It's incredible. I can't find any words.
Not a bad performance, your own performance for an old man.
So they keep telling I'm getting older, but if I keep playing like I'll be playing I'm 50.
Is that a promise?
Oh, that's a promise. As long as Celtic want me over there.
I think the boys behind wouldn't mind that.
Oh, it's been my pleasure to play for them, and I hope it's my pleasure to play for them for a few years yet.
Well, you were sitting on the cup. Does that mean to say that perhaps you think...
That means I'm taking it home with me.
Good luck to you. Well done.
Thanks very much.
I don't think, Chris, there's any secret you're a little nervous before this match.
I think we weren't, perhaps in the early stages it showed. All credit to Dundee United, they came at us and penned us back in a little bit. But we were confident in the end that we would keep going at them, and even if it was was 1-0 with 2 minutes to go like it was at Hearts, I was sure that we would do it in the end.
Until recently, of course, you were playing English football. How does this compare?
I've never seen scenes like this in my life. It is unbelievable. Look at them. It's incredible. It's just great to do this for these people.
Did you honestly believe with 20 minutes left that you'll be holding the Scottish Cup now?
I thought maybe after extra time, and this is what it's all about. Beholding one of these makes a dream come true, honestly.
That's tremendous. Thanks very much indeed, Chris.
Thanks very much.
And Roy Aitken, who's, I think, run enough today, has been asked to do a marathon round the edges of the pitch. There he is with Anton Rogan. Nice picture that, isn't it? Climbing up to get a very good view. The Hampden floodlights being used to good effect by the Celtic support. I think it'll have to be a PA announcement to ask them to go home. Signifying the centenary year.
Well, Alan McKnight, it was clear yesterday in training that there was a slight problem with their number one keeper's cap. I think Pat realised then that there was every chance that he'd miss the cup final.
Yeah, well, it was always in the back of Pat's mind that he had missed. I didn't want to set my hopes up too high. It's a great occasion. I would have loved to have played, but I didn't want to build myself up in case, you know, Pat was fit in the morning. So I didn't get excited until this morning when the boss came to see him coming walking towards me. And Pat dropped his head and I was delighted. But I was also felt terrible for Pat himself. It was an awful thing to get sat out of the celebration like this. Although he's part, but it's just left out a wee bit.
That was a tremendous first goal by Gallagher. How did you see it?
I thought maybe Roy was going to get a touch and I stayed in my line. I could have maybe come out and met him a bit earlier, but he struck it perfectly into the top of the net. And might have saved it some days, but 9 times out of 10 it would go in the back of the net. I'm just glad we got 2 at the other end. Make up for it.
Frank McAvenny just hasn't missed too many of these opportunities this season, has he?
No, he had a terrible day at the semi-final here at Hampden, into the same goal, and I was dreading if the same thing was going to happen today. For a moment it looked like we were going to struggle. Billy Thompson had a couple of great saves, but at the end of the day we nicked 2 goals, so we need it.
Well done. Thanks very much, Alan.
Thank you.
Cheers.
There we are. Looking all the way down from the Celtic support at their traditional end to the rather empty end of Dundee United. Hampden Park, we haven't seen a cloud all day. The only cloud for Dundee United was that 2-strike by Frank McAvenny late on in the game, indicating Celtic's fighting qualities again. The Celtic support quite simply refusing to budge. There they are, triumphant. Well, from Ali McLeod and myself at Hampden Park, in company with the jubilant Celtic supporters, back to Doogie.